hold, hold, hold. That's how I feel when a Wednesdays come around. I'm like, hold, Friday's right around the corner. It's Odin's Day, baby. Woo! Welcome to GeekBeast. This is part of the Geekish Network. This is your daily rundown of geek news. Geeks that look like me, geeks that look like you, yo, and geeks that look like my man right over here, the Black Lion himself. Chuck, yo, man, tell the people what's good.
What's good? Get your hoodies ready. It's winter. It's winter. Get your hoodies ready. It's winter. It's winter. I ordered a bunch of hoodies, man. You know my latest hoodie I ordered?
What's that?
I ordered a Yeezy Gap hoodie. Ordered 2 of them.
That seems fitting.
They are available. I saw the commercial last night, and I was like, I'm gonna order 2 of these hoodies now.
Tell them about the commercial. Tell them about
the
music video.
Oh man! So he had everybody in black hoodies with black Tims, because you don't want to go to heaven for all the goodies. You want to go to hell with niggas in black Tims and black hoodies, aka Big. Rest in peace.
Yo, rest in peace, the notorious one.
No, rest in peace. But that's not it. Kanye did a 2-minute song. Right? And at the end of the song, that's what blew my mind. So Kanye said, hey, you know what? I'm going to take all these black men and put them in hoodies and have them look like angels and fly them up to heaven. And guess what? He used Gustave Dor's painting of the purgatory to illustrate that. And then he did the Ethereum level of Babylon painting and turned that into a piece of 3D art. That has never been done. It's like, wow, this is next level artistry here. This is what geeks do. This is what people like, yo, this painting that sits at 20 by 25 feet, I'm going to put real people in it and put everybody in hoodies with masks to cover their face. I
seen it. It was dope. Yo, the track was hot. The visuals was hot. Yeah. I mean, you know, Ye's an artist through and through. Regardless how you feel about him, you know, he's an artist through and through. In his camp to figure this out, but he had to green light all of this and pay top dollar. Then it said Yeezy at the end of it. It didn't say Gap. It said Yeezy in the Gap logo. Yeah, but it was in Gap lettering though. That's the thing though. Yeah, so I'm surprised like the people at Gap was like, yeah, you know, we'll co-sign on that because it seems like a very risque artistic move.
And it's a gospel song. It's a gospel song too. It's like the most street gospel song. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna buy these Kmart hoodies for this overpriced that he gave me because of advertisement and marketing, and I bought them.
I'm not mad at it. You know what? The reveal of black people wearing black and then being depicted as angels. I remember when a little band called Bone Thugs and Harmony did Meet You at the Crossroads, and they absolutely blew the video world by storm when they had the big reveal at the very end that the guy that you thought was the Grim Reaper, you thought who was Death himself, was actually an angel. In the unveil, he had on the black leather coat, he had on these beautiful wings, and he was busy taking Eazy-E up to heaven. That's the last time I've seen something like that. And now Yeezy has not just taking that kind of concept of changing the concept of what an angel is and what is beautiful and what deserves salvation. He changed it in a very unique way and added a painting to it. Gave it a dope ass beat to go along with it. Yo, I mean, the dude is constantly creating and changing.
Constantly creating.
Hat tip.
It is.
I would recommend it.
That artistry was impressive. I was like, this whole thing is impressive. From the baby at the mask over the head and the hoodie, I was like, wow. Everybody has on the hoodie. Everybody has on this black Gap hoodie that's going to be overly priced. I'm going to order it.
Yo, they got you. They got you a little bit, but that's all right though.
But it's winter time. I was like, why not? Hey, it's winter time, and it's winter time in Los Angeles. That's the perfect time to have on a hoodie.
Yo, big shout out to my man Johnny Randolph in the chat. Yo, so dope. I hope you got a chance to check out the video as well. It was fly, man. You know, it's just artistry at its best. And then we were talking about like he has a way of increasing demand and marketing and selling things in a way, in an artistic way that's absolutely, you know, you got to do a hat tip. But you know who else does that as well?
Who does that?
That is Sony, and that is with the demand with the PlayStation 5. It has just absolutely just gotten ridiculous still to this day as well, over a year after the fact, and it's next to impossible to find one. But Sony is still making PlayStation 4s to relieve some of the demand that everybody's had regarding the PlayStation 5. So Bloomberg is reporting that Sony's told its manufacturers partners to keep assembling PlayStation 4 consoles as a response to the ongoing scarcity of the new PlayStation 5, which launched, get this, in November of 2020. Like, we're in 2022 with everybody, and it's still difficult to find it. Just off of that alone, man, yo, give me what's on the top of your head with this.
I have a couple of things. If you can make PlayStation 4s, guess what else you can make? PlayStation 5s. You can find, if you're paying for chips to make PlayStation 4s, you can find the chips, so you can pay extra for the chips to make PlayStation 5s. Increase that production pipeline. Take off the PlayStation 4s, take them out, refactor that production pipeline, and make PlayStation 5s. People want the 5. But what makes it bad is they're selling the PlayStation 4 at retail price. It's not discount retail.
Yeah. That's the other thing, right?
Price. I'm tripping on that. I'm like, yo, how's this a thing? How is this a thing? It is a thing. I mean, you gotta, PlayStation. You gotta have one, I guess. I mean, is Xbox doing the same thing? Is Xbox making Xbox Ones and Xbox 360s and saying, "Hey, we got cloud gaming now. You can play everything on everything."
Let's see, that's just it though. And I think that behind the scenes, there's a little bit of some chess pieces kind of being moved. Because if you're looking at Xbox platform, they like you said, you can play it on anything. You can play it on your
Halo
phone.
Infinite plays on
PC.
Everything.
You can play it on your tablet, So for them, they're back into the software business more so than they are in the hardware business. That is where they're going to pull probably the lion's share of their money. Now, if you are in the PlayStation ecosystem and you're unable to get the PlayStation 5, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some exclusives that are only on the 5 that you can access. But let's be honest, it's not like it's a mountain load of titles. You're not really truly missing out just yet. But if you're a PlayStation and you want to kind of catch up with kind of what the Xbox is doing, why not look at their game plan and be like, let's try to figure out this cloud gaming thing? Because Xbox, you can play it on the Series S, the X, and the One. You can still have access to a whole bunch of games. So I think PlayStation maybe be like, listen, we just need to get the units out so that people can activate the devices and then hopefully sign on to either our streaming content or the catalog content that they have in the pipeline.
Yeah. I'm not sold, baby. I'm not sold. I'm not sold right now. PlayStation 5s. Kill that production pipeline, throw up a PlayStation 5 production pipeline, and instead of making all these sales online, get these units in stores. People are not beating the bots. The best way to beat the bots? Get the units in stores.
Yeah.
I mean, they're pulling a Nintendo. Just this shortage stuff is killing everybody. Get the units in the stores. Stop telling retailers to sell this stuff all online. Amazon should be the only retailer selling it online. Anybody that has a brick and mortar should be forced to sell this in their brick and mortar. This could keep GameStop alive. This single-handedly could keep GameStop alive.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, if you want the best way to beat the pirates is to sell it,
in the stores,
hand-to-hand exchanges.
Hand-to-hand exchange.
Yeah,
and people in stores come pick up the stuff.
Well, as far as picking up responsibilities, Twitch has purged over 15 million hate raid bots last year. So an open letter from Angela Hasey, Twitch's vice president of global trust and safety, she details the company's approach to making its streaming platform a more harmonious place. So in the past 12 months, she said, we've launched some of the most powerful tools yet to help make Twitch as safe as possible for as many people as possible. She said she introduced several landmark policies to help protect the community against new and evolving threats of all kinds. However, in that same timeline, our community experienced some of the most vicious attacks and ever seen against streamers, particular streamers of color, members of the LGBTQIA community, and military veterans. This kind of behavior has no place on Twitch. And we now know there's more ways that they can do to protect their own community. Twitch has kind of been like under the limelight, the spotlight, regarding how they've been addressing some of their content creators.
Yep.
Are we Or, they've purged 15 million hate raids. Is that enough to, kind of sway you back into the safe spaces of Twitch's embrace? Or is it still just a bunch of
I
hooey?
need more than just hate raids. I need you to
Mhm.
purge 20 million racists.
Yeah, it does. It does seem like they're not really
I
solving
mean,
the
what's
sickness.
wrong
Is
with
more they're
saying the
just
word racist? They're the
ain't
only
nothing
people
wrong
I
with
want
it.
to punch in the mouth. You know? The only people I want to punch in the
Yeah.
mouth. I understand your Uncle Robert is a racist. Punch him in the mouth for me. Punch him in the mouth for me. Do it for all the people of color in the world, in this country. Be patriotic. Do it for the people.
Yeah. If
Hmm.
you're truly American, you'll punch a racist in the mouth. That's what I
Yeah,
see it too.
that's how I'm talking about. True Americans punch racists in the mouth. Be
Yo,
patriotic.
speaking of patriotism, and some of the perks that you get from being here, freedom of speech being one of them. Phil Spencer said Xbox is not a free speech platform. So what exactly did he mean by that? So Phil Spencer, the head
Tell
of
me.
Xbox for Microsoft,
Mm-hmm.
posted posted another positioned another cross-platform cooperative effort in which getting banned on Xbox Live will lead to similar sanctions on PlayStation Network or on online gaming services. He said, "This is hard. This is a hard one as an industry, Spencer allowed. But when somebody gets banned in one of our networks, is there a way for us to ban them across all other networks, or at least as players, for me to be able to bring my banned users list because I can always block people from my play?" We just said regarding Twitch, banning racists or people that are absolutely disrupting, everybody's peace of mind while they're playing these games. Phil Spencer is pretty much saying, "Yo, don't come over here with that BS. I'm gonna get you banned here and everywhere else."
This is my man right here. He's sticking up for the people. Phil's always been cool with me. It was I remember in 2018 he showed
Mm-hmm.
me Halo running on the cloud, and he was like, "You don't tell nobody." I was like, "I'm not telling anybody, Phil. I'm not telling anybody." I saw it on his phone and it was running, and I was like, "Is that real time?" He says, "Yeah. Don't you tell nobody." I said, "I can't. Can I play it?" He says, "I can't let you play it, but you can watch me play it. I just got this build." He does it for the people, man. I'm gonna back Xbox. I'm gonna play more Xbox games now. I'm
I
about to.
mean,
I'm about to
I
play
hear
more.
you.
Ban them on everything. Ban them on podcasts. Ban them from existence. Ban them in their jobs. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
The people ain't
Spencer,
working anyway. So ban the races. Make sure
I
they don't
feel you.
get jobs.
He's stepping out there on a ledge. Spencer's hypothetical was among a number of intriguing remarks given to the New York Times, Kara Swisher, and it underlined his view of Xbox Live as not a social network, or at
Mm-hmm.
least not one similar to Facebook and Twitter. So Spencer reiterated that Microsoft sees Xbox Live as not a free speech platform, but one built on interactive entertainment where controversy and confrontation-driven user
Mm-hmm.
engagement would be a death strategy for their business. Yeah, that's true, man.
I
Nobody want to
support
be
him in this.
playing your
A
game with that
message
on
I
that BS.
support. See,
Yeah,
Twitch is scared to ban the racists because they know that there's probably a large majority of their audience racist.
yeah,
Their
yeah.
subscribers are racist. So it's
Well,
like, do we give up all this free racist money?
people go to Twitch to choose violence. You don't
They
really
do.
go nowadays. Nowadays, you go to Twitch to choose violence because you're going to see some controversy or somebody just spewing some BS from whatever their tweets are. So you're right. That's a big part of who makes up Twitch is confrontation and people just saying whatever they want from left field and they don't want to miss out on that
Hmm.
money. But I feel Phil Spencer on this, man. Yo,
I do
don't come into
too.
my
I
game.
do too.
Don't come into my
I
game
really
with that
do feel him
BS.
on this. Don't come
Yeah,
up in my house with that BS.
yeah, yeah. Speaking of BS, y'all think I've been lied to? You know how
What
many movies I have seen where the hero gets on his trusty steed and rides into battle, and it's this big, massive animal with
Yeah.
arrows whizzing by and all that. Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a team of zoo archaeologists in the United Kingdom recently analyzed the bones of
Uh-huh.
centuries-old war horses to determine their size, finding that they were actually of a surprisingly small stature. The researchers examined 1,900 horse bones from the 4th century and the mid-17th century from 171 different archaeological sites.
Mm.
They found that many war horses were probably no more than pony-sized compared to modern horses.
They're not Clydesdales, like I've been led
That's
to
what I was
believe.
thinking, right?
They're not
Right?
massive horses, which makes
What's
sense
going on?
though, because you had a really high horse. It's good when you're facing battle downward, but if somebody starts shooting arrows at you, you can't dodge any of them.
You know, it is funny, but you know, it kind of makes
carry
sense a
those
little bit.
heavy weapons. You know how hard it's get on top of a horse in full armor. You know,
it makes a little sense. You put me on to something that I absolutely adored. It was a podcast that talked about history, and it was called what was it called?
Hardcore History.
Hardcore History. And one of my favorite podcasts, it talked about the Mongols and the Mongol Empire. And the Mongols were dope because they moved at the speed of horses. They were the fastest thing in the world, and they totally changed warfare forever. But I do remember hearing about how big the Mongols' horses were, and they were actually not that big. It's not like the horse that you see Conan riding on or whatever, or the depictions of Alexander the Great being on some massive steed. You know, there were these tiny horses, but they were fast and they were agile. So now that we're getting this new information regarding how these war horses were actually kind of tiny, it's kind of like fitting more of a realistic approach to how some of this warfare might have gone down.
Yep. Yeah, so it makes sense. And people don't understand the Mongols had 9 horses each. So they had 9 little tiny horses with them each. And when one of the guys rode off in battle, his whole platoon had to ride off in battle. So all you need is one hot head, like, let's go! And he goes, you're like, shit, we all gotta go there. That's how you guarantee everybody's safety. We all die or we all come back.
I ain't mad
they were about that life. The Mongols were so about that life. So about that. If y'all ever get a chance to listen to Hardcore History by Dan Carlin's Hardcore History, you can probably go to the website, and he has Wrath of the Khans. It's a 5-part. It's like $10. It's worth every penny.
It's worth it. It's worth it. Now I'm not usually one to promote paying for a podcast. That's worth paying for. It is. Even if you're not a history buff, the way that he tells the story is absolutely worth it. And you get to understand like the power of horsepower. Like literally horsepower absolutely took over the world because of how the Mongols were just, you know, wilding with their ponies, man. Like absolutely wilding with it. Let's see. What was I about to say? Things that aren't necessarily tiny like these little ponies, but are kind of huge. Elon Musk tweets a video of Mechazilla Tower that will somehow catch a rocket. I don't even know where to even begin with this.
Hold on, start that story over because that sounded like a acid dream.
I'm feeling you.
Say it again. Hold on, I don't think we heard you right.
Elon Musk tweets video of a Mechazilla Tower that will somehow catch a rocket. So a daring scheme to catch a returning Starship booster rocket is taking shape at SpaceX launch facility in Boca Chica, Texas. So the new drone footage, as shared on Elon Musk's tweet, shows the impressive structure rising up from the South Texas facility known as Starbase. The video appears almost a year to the day after SpaceX's CEO announced that the upcoming Super Heavy booster will be caught by a launch tower instead of making a vertical landing on retractable legs. In a Federal Aviation Emission filing submitted back in September, SpaceX said the 469-foot tall launch tower with its 10-foot tall lightning rod is meant to lift its new rocket and boosters on the launch mount and to catch a Super Heavy booster upon return from launch.
Yo, you know what I want? I want to work for SpaceX because they just got money to do whatever they feel like doing.
They just do.
They're going to make a Jaeger and they're going to send him into space and he's going to blow up the moon. He's going to blow up the moon. They're going to have a Jaeger with a jetpack. And I want to be on that team. I mean, who's giving Elon Musk all this money? You're making a tower that throws a rocket into space and it catches the rocket.
Catches the rocket.
Badass that is.
Yo, my man's just flexing, man. He's just flexing.
Man, I wish my family owned an emerald mine full of Africans. I would have done this too. What? I'm not lying here.
I know you're not lying, but it's one of those things that we giggle about. Don't say out loud because it's true.
Man, I want to catch rockets with a rocket base. I want to shape it like a hand too. He goes, yeah. I want to do that too. That's Steven Universe level stuff there. He saw this on an anime. He's out here smoking. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make a tower to catch rockets. It could land on the pad by itself. That's easy. Nah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have one structure capture the other structure as it's falling from space.
Somebody was like, but why, Elon? Because I can. That's why.
That's why. That's why.
I felt like it. That's
now
why.
hire all the smart people in the world to make this happen.
Somebody make it happen and fire that schmuck for questioning me.
Yes.
It's must be.
That's
it's
amazing. I just want that. I want him to take the Gundam in Tokyo and make it real, and it just flies off into space. I'm waiting for that to happen.
Wait for it, man. It's gonna happen. I mean, they've already unveiled it.
Does
that Gundam walk, or is it just a statue?
No, it's just a statue. It's just a statue.
Okay.
You know what I'm really waiting for?
What's
Elon to rip off his face, and we see the reptilian face behind it.
Yo, you remember that show V: The Final Battle?
Yes,
V, back in the day with the reptiles? Yeah, it's gonna be like one of them kind of things.
Yes. And I'm just waiting for Elon to just come with that. Just I wouldn't be shocked. I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
It happens, and nobody would be shocked. You can do it on air, and
yeah,
people would be like,
yeah, I expect that out of Elon. That's what I expect out of him.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
that sounds amazing. Wow.
Well, here's one more thing that's amazing and slightly unexpected. Riot will pay employees 25% of their salary to quit if they aren't convinced by its new direction. So, yeah. So,
I don't know what the new direction is. Like, we're going back to the old ways. We're going to be here sexually harassing women. So if you don't like that, you can quit. Because we're going back to the old ways, baby. We're going back to the golden days. What is the new direction? There has to be more in this article about that, right?
Yeah, he's saying we're trying to grow our business. He wants to make sure we have the right team in place. We're highly motivated. The team must buy into Riot's 5-year plan, which Lauren explains in a blog post with a number of perplexing statements, such as our games will work together to continue listening to players. The gist is that Riot is restructuring, changing its compensation model, and giving employees equity in some way, opening a new studio and working on new games and other media. Riot will also require employees to return to working in an office for 3 days per week at some point in the future. So employees who during the pandemic moved too far away from Riot offices to commute will apparently be expected to relocate or take the buyout offer. The buyout program for Riot employees who want to leave early to leave already existed in a more limited form. It's called the Q Dodge, and it allows recent Riot hires who aren't gelling with the job to walk away with 10% of their annual salary, up to $25,000. So they're like, yo, if you ain't on board, just take the money and run. So is this like a forced kind of commitment?
Money. That ain't a lot of money. Now, if I'm making $500,000 a Riot, you're gonna pay me $25,000 to walk away. I'm up here living in Dallas, Texas, blowing money to the high heavens. I got an infinity pool in my modern style house with a waterfall, and I don't got a jacuzzi because I keep my pool as a jacuzzi. I did what Kanye and Kim did and made the pool a jacuzzi. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll walk away for $25,000. I mean, look here, buddy. I need 25% of my salary. $25,000 is not it.
I was just about to say, I guess it just depends on which income bracket you're in. Like you said, man, if you're making $500,000 a year, 25% as a 3-month salary, make it work for you. But if you're not, that's why they have a cap on it. So, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you all that work at Riot. Take the money and run if you're not happy. But, at least, you can get paid for your severance.
Yeah.
If that's how it's going to go down. Big shout out to the Funk. Oh, go ahead. Oh, no, just changing back gears again. Big shout out to the Funk. He said the new Gundam does walk.
But
it's supported by a back brace. So it walks, kneels, it does some hand stuff. For more movement than that, far more movement than what you would expect, but definitely looks unnatural. I wouldn't expect like a full-blown natural walk for a structure that big anyways. At least not yet. Give it like 10 more years.
What we want, the Funk, what we want is what we saw in Pacific Rim. We want to see two people connected, brain connected, because you know the neural link that Elon is also making to keep them Africans working in that slave mine under mind control. Uh, uh, working. Let me put that up. Working in quotes. You know, to walk together. And we want to see that movement. Then it raises hand, and the jetpack comes out its back, and it flies to the moon, rips out his electric sword, and cuts the moon in half.
You asking a lot, but it'd be dope.
But Elon's gonna do that. That's what he's working on right now. Y'all just don't know that yet. And on the other side of the moon, behind the moon, actually, is an alien base. Then Elon's gonna rip off his reptilian face. He's gonna be a green reptile, and the people in the alien base are gonna be blue reptiles, and it's all-out war gonna happen.
Whose man's is this? Yo, you stupid dog. But nothing would surprise me. Yo, I'm telling you, man. After
we're in the panorama.
Yeah, after the panorama and the absolute realism of the Netflix movie. Of the movie Don't Look Up, nothing would surprise me
after the panorama. You make it seem like this is going to end. You speak of this is like it's going to end. It's like winter's coming and it's here forever. The Night King has won.
Yeah. Yo, I got one more piece of news before we start bringing in some people in for crosstalk, and I kind of want their opinion on it as just gamers and geek culture in general. Yo, G4 is back, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not been checking it out, it was definitely one of my favorite guilty pleasures that I used to watch all the time. It's not even a guilty pleasure. It was just dope. Talked about mostly video games, comics, cool little random TV shows. Well, one of their hosts to the new service that has been brought back to life has been experiencing some sexist remarks and is having to deal with sexist expectations. So former esports commentator and new X-Play co-host Indiana Frostcurrent Black specifically called out the crude sexism of viewers, online commentators, and other randos that she still faces in gaming in the year 2021. There is a link that we could probably drop in the chat, and you can get a chance to check out her. You know, she kind of, she hops on her soapbox and she lets the world kind of know how she's feeling. She said, even on this YouTube channel, we have the chat in front of us, and I can see you. Without a doubt, there's been some backlash because I'm not as bangable as previous hosts. She said, joining G4, she was ecstatic to be a part of something that she grew up watching as a child. But every time G4 is brought up in various channels, that's kind of the problems that she's kind of running into. I guess she's being compared to former hosts such as like Olivia Munn, who, truth be told, Olivia Munn is, a very beautiful woman who is a fantastic geek first, who happens to be a beautiful woman.
And she embraced fan service. Olivia Munn embraced fan service.
Yeah. She totally
leaned into it.
Her Wonder Woman bits were absolutely legendary. But yeah, but there's definitely, a different look for her. It has somehow been expected that you can talk as much, that you can talk about how much you jerked off to women as a compliment. Black said, it's not a compliment. It's dehumanizing and it's weird. Women do not exist to be nice on the eyes for you. Morgan Webb, Olivia Munn did not exist to be nice on the eyes for you. So her remarks were shared by G4's official Twitter account. So G4 has her back regarding some of these contents. That's one thing that we can kind of like start on. We'll bring in some of our guests because it is 9:00 and it is about that time for us to do some crosstalk. Ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and bring some of these people in. While everybody kind of like gets their feet right before we get started, that's going to conclude the new segment for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yo, huge shout out to my man Chuck for piecing everything together. One of the co-producers of the Geekish Network. Shout out to Digital Click for all the creative you provide. To quote the immortal Deion Sanders, you look good. You look good, you play good, you make money. Yo, if we look good, we give you a good show, and we give you a good show, you're going to keep coming back for more.
That's right.
You want that? If you want that kind of feeling, you got to go to Digital Click. Hit them up. I'm telling you, they'll get your marketing squared away. They'll have you looking good. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's / the Geekish Network. Please like us as well. Hit that subscription button. Look, I'm talking to you right now. Hit that subscription button and click that thumbs up, because that's how you let the algorithm know that you're digging what we're giving to you. Of course, on Facebook / the Geekish Network, and Twitch is still alive, ladies and gentlemen. It has not gone anywhere, but we're just doing game streams, charity streams, cooking streams, and a couple other little odds and ends that'll be bubbling up there from time to time. So please consider subscribing to the channel. Exactly. If you're on Amazon Prime, you can link to us as well using your Amazon account to sub to us using Prime Gaming, and it costs you nothing, but it helps us out tremendously. You're already on a social platform right now, so go ahead and click that share button as well, because that is, to me, the best way to get that word of mouth out. Yo, today is Wednesday, Odin's Day, ladies and gentlemen, and one of my favorite reasons why is because I get to hang out with two dope individuals. Yo, my man Johnny Randolph, and the absolute impeccable, amazing Courtney Wright. Yo, these two right here are like the left-right combo when it comes to our binge-worthy podcast that we're setting up. Speaking of podcasts, you can also check out all of this information on all streaming services such as Apple Podcasts as well, Google's podcast section. I think Amazon. We are everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. You can't throw a rock and not hit somebody associated with the Geekish Network. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are y'all doing over here? What's going on, Johnny? What's going on, Court?
Good, fam. How y'all doing, man?
Hi. Soaking all this in. Yo, I had a question for you. And just out of curiosity, so G4, were either of you fans of it when the channel was out? It came out, golly, like the early 2000s, I want to say it was a thing.
I was.
Yeah, I was a fan.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that kind of made it must-see TV, they had two characters. They had two hosts on there. One was Olivia Munn, and well, for me, it was Olivia Munn. I wasn't a huge Morgan fan, but anyways, I would come to log in to try and see like some of the skits that she would do. She would dress as superheroes, be Wonder Woman. You know, she was an absolute geek through and through. But you know, she was also easy on the eyes. I guess I'm trying to figure out the. I'm
like, just go on and say it. Stop.
She was
going
pretty.
around that. She was pretty. She is real pretty. She had to stop being pretty. She's still pretty.
Right.
Yeah.
So G4 has kind of like set certain people up to expect that for that particular show. Unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately for people that they're expecting one thing and coming to grips with seeing something else, the new cast may not represent what their old thoughts of what G4 should represent. And the cast is pushing back. One lady in particular who is an e-gamer is calling people out on their shit and being like, yo, we are not here to be eye candy for you. You know, we're here to talk in this game space. And G4 is backing her. How are we feeling regarding this? You know, as far as some people's expectations regarding a channel versus the new normal for what is going to be happening on the channel.
I'm with the new normal, man. Grow up. You know, she's talented. She's in geek culture. Let her be who she gonna be without having to worry about being attractive for a bunch of nerds and shit like that. Yeah.
But here's the thing is that, you know, it's the old adage, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Like who are you to determine what constitutes beauty? My beauty or somebody else's beauty is not on your personal scale. So, right. I mean, yes, can we collectively agree that Olivia Munn is attractive in aesthetic society? You know what I mean? That in that way, of course, sure. But she may not be for everybody else. I just think that you have to give people a chance. People have a problem with change. You know what I mean? Like that's really what it comes down to. They just want to stick to what's familiar, especially now during like COVID times, and people feel out of control. The things that they are used to and not able to do, and it's the little things that I'm a micromanage, i.e. G4 and who is a host. If you show up for the games, you show up for the games. Right. If you show up looking to for other things, then go find another channel.
Yeah. I just want to know if she's good at the job. If she's good at the job, that's all that should matter.
She's good at the job. She's highly knowledgeable. She knows games.
Yeah, man, let her be her
game commentator. She's an esports game commentator.
Yeah.
She's sharp, and the boys or even some girls are like, I need her to be as hot as Olivia Munn, and she's not that. That's not what she's
But
there for.
That's
She's
not her
not
But
wheelhouse.
Olivia
it's
Munn.
not, but it's not what it's about. If you
Yeah.
show up for the gaming and hear the knowledge that the people are flexing, then
But-
I don't,
Yeah.
I'm
this goes
lost.
back to-
Let's
I'm
be
lost.
The
honest. What
story
it
I was
really
talking
is.
about earlier.
It's trolls just being trolls.
Right, that's what I was about to say. It's like the
People
hate
just
raids
angry.
on
They
the
just
hate
mad.
raids on Twitch, the racism, like the sexism. That's what all this
Yeah.
shit was down to.
Yeah. It's like they're just trolling, right? There's no reason to troll her. But they're
There's no
trolling.
reason to troll anybody.
No,
Just let
it's-
people
it-
do what they're good
It's
at.
people
And
have a lack of power, right?
It's the
here this
lack of, exactly. That's what I
this
just
person
said.
has
Yeah.
celebrity power, and I can try to wield it by saying, "You ugly, you ugly,
Right.
you ain't
Right.
talented, but you doing
Who
something
does
that I could never do, and I can hide behind this
Exactly.
imaginary picture and these words that don't that say a fake name that I created that I thought was sexy." You know, so yeah, it's sad. It's sad.
Yeah,
But
and
she
it's not
came
cool
out.
at
She
all,
came out
right.
punching. So I'm happy
Yeah.
for her for coming out punching.
I give her that. She came out swinging.
She came out
What?
swinging.
I want
Yeah,
to see.
well,
Like, what's the channel? Like, what's her name?
Indiana.
Yeah.
Indiana Foreskin Black.
Yeah, and I'm happy that the network is standing by her too, man.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, we're
important.
standing by as a Geek Network. You know, like
Yeah.
we support her.
Absolutely.
You know, and people are like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
she looks like a boy. Blah blah blah. I've read some of the comments, and I'm like, y'all stupid. And what difference does it make? What
Right.
difference does it make?
Well, and coming from somebody who was a geek and a nerd when it wasn't cool, and my
Mhm.
tribe looked a certain kind of way because we band around each other, and some of us looked a certain way, carrying
Yeah.
ourselves in a certain way that was counter to popular culture. And so for me, it's like, yo, our roots come from being outliers to begin with. So it's
Mhm.
just like, well, how are you gonna, go back and start judging people on things that typically kept us from enjoying the things that we enjoyed in good culture to begin with. So it's like, how are we going back to that?
Rooting
Yeah.
for her. I think she's pretty. Like, not that matters. I don't think that I think it's like I said, everybody's image of beauty. And honestly, your intelligence and your knowledge is what's truly beautiful about the subject matter that you're talking about.
Yeah.
If you can wow me with like what you are like flexing and introducing to maybe new people that are coming to your channel, then absolutely show up and show me like who you are and what you got to tell me. That's all that matters.
Yeah, man. That's it.
Hey,
I just wanted to be a badass. That's it.
I mean,
that's
she looks
it.
pretty badass to me.
Yeah.
She got a freaking like tiger on her neck. Why you gonna mess with her? Why you gonna mess with somebody with a tiger on their neck? Come on, man.
And a lot has to do with jealousy, right? Like, let's be honest. There's a lot of men in particular that when they sit there and they try to get women banned on Twitch because they're attractive. They're too
Right.
attractive. They try to get women banned on Twitch if they don't respond to their comments. They try to get women banned on Twitch if they're not attracted to them. It's like women can't win.
We can't.
And
We can't win.
We have to show, and it's a bunch of men that can't get any women and trying to dominate over them.
Yeah, man. That's not cool at all.
so let me just change gears real quick before we jump into the nitty gritty of what we are going to be talking about this evening. And that is, has everybody here seen the new Fresh Prince trailer for Bel Air? Excuse me, not Fresh Prince. Everybody seen the Bel Air trailer?
I have.
Yeah,
It's the retelling of the Fresh Prince in dramatic fashion. Big shout out to the Funk for bringing this to people's attention. He said, I'm seeing some discourse regarding the new Carlton on Bel Air as being a modern toxic geek. That's interesting.
Yeah, he's
I don't understand what that means.
He's
Carlton-
Flash. He's
Carlton
Flash.
is a lot. Yeah, Carlton's a lot different than the original Fresh Prince. Original Fresh Prince. He he was a little whitewashed, a little geeky, but he was still what was considered to be whitewashed back then. This new Carlton is a lot different. He's got a lot more swag. He's definitely got a lot more confidence. He looks like he's playing chess. He's on the lacrosse team, and he's just a lot different than the Carlton that we once knew and loved. So the Funk is saying that there may be some pushback, saying that he's a toxic geek.
What does that mean?
Well, I was gonna ask you all the same question. First off, is that how you feel about Carlton? And then before that, what is a toxic geek?
Hey man, I'm all about the old Carlton. Like, oh, why we gotta change Carlton? I don't even like that trailer. I honestly don't. It does not capture the tenor, the Fresh Prince. I mean, I know it's a retelling, but like, it's different.
It's a dramatic
It's
retelling.
dramatic, but it's not capturing to me what it was. Like, Will came into Bel Air swagged out. Will was not necessarily a fish out of water. He came in there bringing Philly swag and everything. And I thought that they're making him as having to have a huge adjustment. And Carlton, he was just preppy. He's preppy. We'd never seen a character like that on television that was black. I thought he walked in his own lane. And Carlton had monumental moments during the run of the Fresh Prince. He checked Vivica Fox. He got the strap when Will was out there. He went to Compton. And when Will was scared to go to MacArthur Park, he was like, yo, why you snitching on me, Prince? I'm like, Carlton had swag, man.
Well, this
I
Carlton...
think they're trying to... Oh,
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think they're trying, since it is a dramatic retelling, it sounds like they're trying to keep it in a place of serious, because that Carlton, Alfonso Ribeiro, let's be honest, he was the true comedic genius on the freaking show. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, and it lent to that preppy, non-stereotype of a black man. That was part of the joke. Mm-hmm. And so I can understand how they want to play away from that idea. I'm not clear on the whole, outside of what we were just talking about in regards to the Indiana Black, outside of that being toxic geekery. Mm-hmm. I don't really understand like what that is. I guess it's just the dark side of geek, like the Sith of geek. Is that what we're saying?
Oh, that's actually, I like that. I like that. The Sith,
the
Sith of geekdom. Okay.
Yeah.
Did we really need a retelling of the Fresh Prince?
Do we need a retelling of anything? This is just reboot culture.
Yeah, we are.
It's taking the DC approach of dark and gritty.
Yeah, they could have did something different, right? Like, I don't know. It doesn't have to be the Fresh Prince, right? It could be a new story. Those characters are ingrained and loved for a reason, man. Like, why are we doing this?
Well, there was success with Riverdale, right?
Cool. Huh?
I said there was success with Riverdale, right? Like, it got multiple seasons, right? It's on
the Here's the thing: Riverdale wasn't a reboot. Riverdale was the Archie comic books, just told in a different way, and that actually was brand new. No one had done Archie before. So Riverdale, for me, it constitutes as a comic book series, based on a comic book series. Mm-hmm. Same with Sabrina. Sabrina was a reboot. It was a retelling, but Riverdale was fresh. But I mean, you got shows like
Gossip
another
Girl.
How I Met Your Father. They rebooted Gossip Girl. They got How I Met Your Father instead of How I Met Your Mother. They got. Does anybody remember that show back in the day with the actor who had Down syndrome, Corky? Remember that show?
Wonder Years.
No, Wonder Years.
It was Life is Something. Anyways, that got a reboot.
Yeah.
It's got a sequel coming. Huh. They just dropped that, and I can't think of the title.
Corky, that was the kid's name, right?
Yeah.
It was Corky.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah.
They're doing
Becca
this.
Martin played his sister, I think, or no, Kelly Martin. Kelly Martin played his sister. Becca was the character.
They may be doing 90210 over again too for the
They've
third.
already done
90210.
This will be for the
third time.
Well, it was an updated version. They weren't the same character.
It's
the third time.
Mm-hmm. They're gonna do it again.
Yeah, like it wasn't Brenda and all.
They're like, we're gonna do Falcon Crest. I was like, why are you gonna do Falcon Crest?
They're doing Falcon Crest?
Yeah.
Well, they did Dynasty and they did Dallas.
They did Dynasty and they did Dallas.
I do remember Dallas.
Yeah. Updated versions of them. It wasn't reboots. They were like continuation. It was the children.
No. Dynasty was a straight reboot. Crystal, Alexis.
Okay, I know Dallas was. I know Dallas was Dallas was my shit too. So I know Dallas was
Dallas, I just like the music.
Well, what we will be talking about today isn't necessarily a reboot, but more or less a spinoff. Yo, Randy, can you give us a quick breakdown of what we're going to be discussing on Bingeworthy this evening?
We're doing Hawkeye. This is Disney Plus's version of Hawkeye. It takes a takes place a year after the events of Endgame.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, can I get a hot take from everybody in the room? We'll start with you, Chuck. What's going on with you, fam? Give me a hot take.
Not all bullseyes land.
Ooh. Not
Feel
bad.
feel
Not
like you had
bad.
that one
like it.
prepared.
Good punny. It was punny.
Yeah.
It's
gonna be-
it was quite
That was
funny.
solid.
I'll go next. Finally, a real a real superhero story that I've been waiting for from Disney Plus. Thank you. That's my little hot take. Court.
A series that stayed true to the essence of the MCU and yet fit within the television genre. You know what I mean? Like it still paid homage to what we have grown to love about Marvel. Whereas I feel other series went too far to the left or right, whichever way you want to go, in order to be its own and failed. So I think this one is definitely on the bullseye. It's definitely on the board. It's on the dartboard. I can't say it's a bullseye yet. I'm gonna hold on to my feelings.
This is gonna be good. Yo, Johnny, give me a hot take.
I'm gonna say why.
Wow.
This should be a good, interesting. Okay.
Okay, this is what's going down, you guys.
I
This
like
is
these.
what's going down.
Man, I wish I had some sleeves on because I'd be rolling them up.
Okay.
All right.
You guys
Hey,
are not
boss
gonna want to
man.
miss this.
How
y'all don't wanna miss
how we
this.
feeling? You want to go ahead and
Yeah.
give them like the 10-minute warning?
No,
and
we'll
then go ahead
we'll
and
be
go
back
right
in 8:20. That's in 2 minutes, you guys. We got a 2-minute
in
break.
2
I'm gonna
minutes.
throw the starting soon screen up right now, and we'll come right
Okay.
back for the action.
Cool.
All right. See y'all in a little bit.
I love it. Peace.
Hey, how y'all doing?